What's up?
Bah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Matt Ryan Show. Mr. Hargrove, the snow is glistening down here in the southern part of, well, you're not even in Tennessee, but in the southern part
Pretty
of
close.
Kentucky, down there in Bowling Green, also up here in Lexington. Um, it is a little early. It is November. There was ice on my car before I got to work and then after I left work. So take that for what it is. It was 75 degrees 3 days ago. I was playing golf 3 days ago. So that's Kentucky for you. But how are you doing on this beautiful winter evening?
Yeah, man, it's a lot of nothing is
Hmm.
what's going on because of the snow. I'm somebody that just kind of likes to, stone outside, keep all the lights off in the house, and watch movies. So that's pretty much what I've been doing all day. But it has been snowing in Tennessee because my parents, who live south of Nashville, they got just as much of snow as we did. So, but you know what? It's awesome because there is some Thanksgiving and Christmases down here in the South that they're a little too warm for my liking. Like we'll get some Thanksgivings that are like 75 degrees. We've even had some Christmases, I feel like, in Tennessee that they'll be like 65, 70 degrees out. So hard to get into the what should be the proper aesthetic for celebrating Christmas. Because you see all those movies and then you look out your window Christmas morning and it's just not the same. So
Of
I
course.
enjoy it. I enjoy it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that makes one of us. But we did have quite a bit of games over the past week, and we got a lot to talk about. Maybe a little bit of a shorter episode. Gonna tease some things possibly for next week. Who knows? Stay tuned and find out. However, Mr. Hargrove, what is going on at the top of the league with Mr. OKC Thunder, who we, and by we I mean me, said at the beginning of the season they would win 71 games. They're off to a pretty good start here at 10-1 to start the season.
Yeah, this Western Conference continues to get even more loaded. You look down the standings, and it's still early, but you called it as well. The Trailblazers are sitting there at 5-4, and they look pretty sharp with our boy Denny Avitsa, as some people might like to call him. So, um, yeah, there's some shockers in that West, but no shocker is the OKC Thunder. They're 10-1. It's just so impressive how they're able to do this without arguably their second best player. But Hartenstein's been performing really well with them, and I've fallen in love with AJ Mitchell. He's taken a huge step, second round pick. Started the season off the bench. He's actually been starting some games. It's kind of funny because it seems like the Thunder have been mixing up their starting lineups. Like you'll see Casey Wallace, and then you'll see AJ Mitchell, and then you'll see Wiggins in there. And when those guys come in, it seems like they drop 15 to 20 points to help Shea and Chet do their thing. So it's just gonna get interesting because we I feel like for this decade of basketball, we are still searching for that team or that organization that we can rely on to look back and be like, "Oh, this was the team of the decade." And the Thunder, I mean, if they put up a season where and we say this not jokingly, if they put up like a 70-win season or are able to break the record, which being 10-1, you're definitely on pace to do so.
Yeah.
Uh, and now, obviously, they would have to go on and win the finals because it's one thing to. I know the Warriors when they did it, they didn't win the finals that year, but they still have a dynasty. So it still kind of counts in that retrospect. I still kind of count it, but yeah, that the OKC Thunder, man, it's kind of unbelievable what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, this OKC team, when you look at what Sam Presti has done, they went out and in the offseason, they signed a guy like AJ Mitchell to an extension that you kind of looked at the time and didn't really think much of it. And then first 11 games, he's balled out. And it just shows that, Sam Presti is like 3 or 4 steps ahead of everybody in the league. And, they still have draft picks. They still have picks that could possibly be in the lottery of this year's draft with all the stuff that they've got. Not to mention they kind of got lucky, and obviously nobody likes injury, but they didn't have to pay Shea the supermax because he didn't qualify for the games played. Chet missed the whole season, so he didn't have the opportunity to get the supermax, and now J Dub, Jalen Williams, is probably going to miss most of this year and not be eligible for All NBA, so he won't be able to be eligible for the supermax. They missed out on their three biggest players to be able to get that higher earning money, which saves them in the cap in the long run. So it's stuff like that that you need to kind of build out a dynasty, and they certainly have the pieces. It's just can you maintain? It's so hard to go back to back, but then to make a dynasty, it's just so like the routine just becomes monotonous, and you have to be committed to the grind every single year to be able
Yeah.
to pull out one of those dynasties.
It's also going to be really fun is the MVP race because there are some superstars this year that have just been unbelievable. Like Giannis. I mean, if the Bucks are able to get a top three spot in the East, and then you have Shea with the Thunder, and Wimby, he's going to have a legit shot at the Spurs finish top three. I mean, you might have like 4 or 5 guys, and Luca. Luca, in my opinion, has been the best player in basketball this year. Um, but he just what he was able to do right now without LeBron, you might have 5 legitimate arguments for MVP when you get to the end of the year. Sleeper one though is your boy Cade Cunningham because the Pistons are 8-2, and if Cade Cunningham, I looked up his stats yesterday. I want to say he's averaging like 24 points a game, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. So if the Pistons are the number one seed in the East, why not Cade Cunningham if he gets short of a triple double on the number one team in the Eastern Conference? What a crazy jump. Maybe not for you, but I feel like in general, NBA fans, it would be a crazy jump for if Cade, who he was a good player last year, like all-star caliber, but if you were to say Cade Cunningham wins MVP in
Oh,
2026, that would be that it would be stunning with all due respect.
I'm a Cade lover, and there's no way I could have predicted Cade Cunningham even being in the race. If you would have told me, he's top 10, I could believe it. But even if you go, yeah, at the end of the year or even the beginning, he's gonna be top 5 and probably in those talks, especially with a year like this where literally anybody can win it. Uh, it's good to see. It's just fun to watch the Pistons finally turning around, and nobody it's the season's not over. It could still go very badly this year, but to hope that last year was not just a fluke, kind of like the Kings were a few years ago, where you thought they may be turning it around and they just kind of self implode. It's nice to see Detroit kind of pick themselves back up and really start to get in the middle of this rebuild. One person I want to bring up for MVP talk, I brought him up earlier in the year. I was high on him for MVP. I told you what the stats would have to be for him to
Can I
average that.
guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sagoon.
Stats this year. He's averaging 23 on 50% shooting, 40% from three, with basically 10 rebounds, 7.5 assists, and 1.5 steals. I mean, if you're averaging 23, 10, and 7, not saying, and if you're
I
two
mean,
seed in the
come on
West,
now.
it gets interesting. I mean, you're going to
That's
see
what I
some
say.
separation.
There's gonna be 5 or 6 guys probably at the end of the season where you can legitimately make an argument for them to be the MVP.
It's just so hard when people are averaging 40 to look at it 23, 10, and 7 and go, okay, but that used to be sought after, especially by a center. I mean, everybody's talking about Jokic, and this is kind of a miniature version of it, but it's it's still early, but you could see some separation by the time we get to halfway through the year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
it
mean,
looks
I
good.
I still think I'll go back to my Luca argument. I mean, it is just 6 games, but 37, 10, and 10 is what he's averaging right now. So it's
Will he
just
play
kind of
enough this
ridiculous.
year?
I think he will. What do you think? What's the new rule? You have to play 60. games, I think.
I think it's 63. It's like a weird number.
Yeah,
I'll look it up
obviously
just to be sure, but
it's a certain percentage.
65. So you must play at
65
least,
games.
yeah, at least 20 minutes in those 65 games. But um, yeah, 65 games to be eligible for any of the awards. So I don't know how many he's missed already, but there's been a few, and we're only 11 games in.
He's missed let's see. I got it right here. He's missed 4 games. So,
4 out of 11. If you keep that pace up, it's not going to look good
no.
for the rest of the year. So not saying that he can't or won't win MVP, but I just some of these guys, it's like will they even be eligible to win such an award? Austin
Another
Reeves
name I
will
want to
be.
bring up, Cedric Coward,
Mm.
Memphis Grizzly.
Rookie of the year,
So,
though?
man, that's
I mean, can we be
what other
honest?
guy would you put above him right now?
I mean, VJ
Honestly,
Edgecombe is the only guy I can think that is close, and he had a pretty bad week. So I don't know. It's
Cedric
again,
Coward, 15 points, 6 rebounds a game, 3 assists, 44% from downtown, as some people would call it.
yeah. Let me look up
It's
Edgecombe
just
stats.
awesome. It's awesome basketball.
Edgecombe's averaging about 16 and a half, five. I'm sorry, 6 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1.5 steals on 42 and 37. So
You know what probably is going to help them if it did come down to those two is the 76ers are probably going to be a playoff team,
I
and
hate
the
that.
Grizzlies, they hate it or not, it's the same as the MVP race, but they're always going to favor winning teams. They also do that. I believe they do that with All-Star voting. The teams that are top 3, they'll get maybe an extra player that third player from a top 2 team in the conference. He's hasn't had as good of a season as a guy who's on like the 14th best team in the league, but
You're telling me
they
Kyle
they
Korver wasn't an All Star back in
uh,
2016 or whatever the hell?
hey, we're not going to make this a Kyle Korver uh,
Listen,
ban ban or I don't
all,
even know what I'm trying to say. We just
all
don't
I'm
we
saying
just
is
all
all I'm
nice
saying is
things to
four
Kyle Korver.
Hawks. Four Hawks on the All Star team seems a bit ridiculous. Doesn't matter what era you're in. I don't care if we're, you know,
Who are the 4? It was Korver, Teague.
Korver, Teague, Millsap, Horford.
Mm,
Down year for the league.
go
Anyway,
Hawks.
rookie of the year so far, rookie of the months at least will be Edgecombe and Cedric Howard, almost undoubtedly. Um, so just an interesting race to kind of look upon. Now that De'Aaron Fox is back, maybe Dylan Harper kind of steps back in his minutes, and then obviously Cooper Flag has been um, kind of just thrown into a weird situation with being a point guard of a team at 6'10", and they don't. Anthony Davis has been out a few games and might be out for a while. Shocking, I know. And then Kyrie's obviously out, so now he's playing with Klay Thompson, who's been pretty bad this year, and D'Angelo Russell. So it's kind of hard to do
Yeah,
anything,
that Dallas team, like you want to say they're underperforming, but they're really not. They're without
in
two
my eyes. They
of
are.
yeah, they're well, uh, not for me because I look at it as they're without 2 of their 2 all-stars. Any team that has 2 all-stars in their starting lineup and is hurt is going to struggle. So their starting lineup right now is, and I apologize if you hear my phone dinging. My family keeps texting annoyingly about some Disney trip for somebody else. Um, anyways, like their starting lineup right now is what Cooper Flag, Max Christie, who he's been coming off the bench. He was coming off the bench at the beginning of the year for the Mavericks. PJ Washington, who's kind of thrown into he has to produce more offense for them. I know I'm forgetting. Is it Nico Marshall? Is that who's been
He
in
might
that
be.
starting lineup? Maybe.
Also, Derek Lively. I don't even know if he's hurt or not, or if he's in the lineup.
Yeah. So it's just yeah.
But here's
It's
the thing:
it's
we talked about it at the beginning of the year, and even last year before the draft happened. And I told you, I said the best opportunity Cooper Flag has to really shine in this league is when he's not the number one option. Not saying he can't be. I don't think he can be, but it's not impossible. I just think for his next 2 or 3 years, at least 4 years, 5 years, him being a second or third option on a good team and being that defensive.
Who's been the most disappointing team, you think? I
Uh,
think it's obvious
I
in
mean,
my opinion.
to me, it's the Mavericks. To you, it's probably the Pelicans because we both picked them as our playoff
Well,
teams. But
no, I wouldn't. I picked them as the playoff team, but the 2-7 also doesn't shock me as well. I think it's the Clippers. 3-6. You're a veteran team. Uh, I would assume they came into the season with championship aspirations, and Kawhi has kind of been, play one game, not play. I gotta also. I was telling you about this before we started, but I got a little bit of a. I just need to say something that's been on my mind. Um, uh, but anyways, the Clippers. Um, yeah, man, they just. I don't know. The production just has not been there. 3-6. They have a better roster than 3-6.
yeah,
They've probably been the most disappointing team for me.
they're just so old, dude. It's insane. Like so
They
old.
are. They very veteran team.
Yeah, I guess we can call it that. So like it's in the regular season, it's tough. A lot of these young, like you look at Portland, you're like, oh, they're really good start to the season. Yeah, it's because they all are fresh. They're all 20 years old and can get up and down the floor easily. Like these old guys, they got to work their way into the league and or not the league, the season and kind of get their legs underneath
You can
them.
say the league.
Yeah. Um, but having guys like Bradley Beal as one of your options is tough in
Well, he just
2025.
has not been Bradley Beal Wizards. Bradley Beal. He's not going into
Well,
these games scoring 25 points.
I think because he's got. Listen, I hate to be that guy, but Wizards Bradley Beal was Wizards Bradley Beal because there was no pressure. You're the Wizards. You're the worst team in the league. You're the guy. You can just put up as many shots as you want and get your 25 and get out of there. Not saying that's what he did, but it's much easier when nobody's looking at you or expecting anything from you. Of course, last season took a toll on him, and maybe mentally he just needs to get rewired. But yeah, it's definitely been a disappointing start to them. I'd even say the Pacers. I don't care if your star player is out. You can't be 1-9 to start the season. Obviously, Matherin's also out. Injuries have plagued them to a T. But you're supposed to be the free flowing offense that is kind of chaos. Goes to show, and people were disrespecting Tyrese Halliburton last year how valuable he is to that team because he is the engine that makes that team go. Um, you know, it's tough to make the finals and then be what's presumably going to be a top 5 pick at the end of the year.
Oh, 100%. Um, yeah. So I want to get into my little rant. What I was saying, if you don't mind,
Please,
unless
floor
you.
is yours.
Okay. So this is what. And the Kawhi thing made me think about it. So college basketball uh, finally started. Thank God. We did the podcast last Monday going through our predictions. And unfortunately, I didn't get to watch that Arizona game. That was probably the best game of the first week college basketball. It was the first big game they played Florida. But I did watch the second game. It was Villanova BYU. And that game was so much fun to watch. And it was just so fast paced. And I loved every bit of it. Even though, if we want to get nitpicky, Villanova, I know it's I'm forgetting his name off. He came over from Maryland. He's the new coach at Villanova. Um, I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head, but he's got a new program. But it's just so sad to watch that Villanova team just not dominate because I consider them a blue blood.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some people that maybe don't. Anyways, that's not the point. That game was so
Kevin
much fun.
Kevin Willard, by the way.
Kevin Willard, thank you, thank you. And then I'm watching NBA throughout the rest of the week. Another college basketball game that I watch is St. John's, Alabama.
Woo.
I thought it felt like an Elite Eight game.
Hmm.
It was so awesome. And then I go to watch my Denver Nuggets that Saturday night. Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon sat out that game because they were playing back to backs. And I'm just thinking in my head, they're not hurt. They're not. They're just sitting out because they were playing the Pacers. But I think for the first time in my life, I've come to the consideration of shortening the NBA season so we can get more games. Like I've always thought that the problem is we need to shorten the amount of playoff teams. Maybe that's not what it is. Maybe we need to do both. Maybe we just need 6 playoff teams and then there be 2 NBA games a week. And that's how we go about it. And the games probably would look a lot more like those college runs where they're high, fast pace. But it was the first time, and this is probably something that has been on your mind for a long time and on the mind of a lot of people for a while. But dude, it just hit me Saturday morning watching that St. John's Bama game. Those dudes were flying on the floor. And then you're watching some of these NBA games and they're just I know they want to be out there, but sometimes it just seems like they're going through the motions, man. And
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
frustrating. It's
it's the difference
frustrating.
between, I mean, in college, even if you get to the national championship, you don't play. If you double that, that's 40 games if you win the national championship. And then you double that, that's 80. That's not even a full regular season for the NBA. So it's like you're playing less than half the games. The games mean more because you have to win your conference, and if you don't win your conference, you have to be good enough to be an at-large, which then means you can't lose stupid games like if you lose to the Pacers because you sat people. Like if the Denver Nuggets lost to the Pacers, wouldn't nobody would even bat an eye. They'd go, "Oh, the Pacers won a game. Good for them." Um, and it's because it's so long. Now, I don't know what the correct number is. I don't know if are you talking like 65 games? Are you talking 60? What's the number that you're throwing out?
I think they literally should set it up to where you play 2 games a week. So I would have to look at the weeks and see what that looks like. But yeah, you know how you know, in college basketball, you couldn't do this because college basketball, especially during the months of January and February, they own Saturday. So you wouldn't be able to make it to where, oh, everybody in the NBA plays on Saturday and Tuesday, make it like an NFL thing. You could maybe make it to where like mostly everybody plays on Friday night and then you have like a Saturday night game in the NBA. And make that like a Monday night football situation.
But they don't even have to do that. Like they all they have to do is it's less games, so there's more TV opportunities. Like there's no you don't have to have the Lakers on, CB or NBC 37 times in a year. You could have you could still have that, but also have other teams on. Like it just opens up opportunities for TV deals because if the Lakers are playing on Tuesday night and that's on NBC, they're probably not going to play again until Saturday. So that leaves Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for games to be played. And whatever days that NBC allows you to have those games, that's a different team that you could put in there. So it would open the opportunity for less games to be on NBA League Pass, which thank God. Um, it would open the opportunity for more teams to be seen. You'd be able to see teams like the Detroit Pistons if you don't live in Detroit, or the Cleveland Cavaliers, which seemingly are good but somehow not on TV quite a bit. Or even, some of those Zards fans that want to see the Wizards for some reason. I don't know why they would, but it could be on TV.
Yeah.
Somebody could watch Alex Sarr go off, which he has been doing. Shout out.
Yes. Alex Starr has been playing.
But college basketball, it's been good. It's been fantastic. Probably the best season feeling in years. I mean, years. It is good to have all the dudes that came from high school that were good to be in college. People don't realize this, but like there was years where people were going to the G League. There's top 5 recruits, top 10 recruits, always going to the G League or trying to skip out on you, or Shaden Sharp, where you go to Kentucky but you don't actually play and you just go straight to the draft. Still don't know how that's legal, but whatever. And then you you realize like, oh, you're missing out on all these dudes being in college basketball, and it over time it just takes a toll on you because you're like, it's just you're not
Yeah.
as excited, and now you've got everybody from that class in college, and it's just it helps that it's a good class. That also helps, but I mean, I watched Arkansas Michigan State, and it was a good game. The last 4 minutes, it was college basketball. It sucked. It was dudes getting their butthole a little tight and couldn't make a play. Michigan State pretty much almost blew the game. But it's been good games, and we got Louisville,
Yeah.
Kentucky tomorrow night, or tonight as of as this comes out, but tomorrow night as recording, and it's college basketball season.
Yeah. Real quick, last thing I want to say on the NBA before we can officially move on to college, unless you have something, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. They just need to outright change their logos and everything back to
The old
that
Cavs.
look, because it was awesome seeing those navy blue uniforms. The court looks so good.
Yeah.
They just it's a much better look than what they have now. Like I get it turning back for the nostalgia, but it's one thing when that look is 10 times better than what they have going on right now, with just the calves on the chest and the just the hoop, I guess being the A or something like that. It's a 10 times better look. Which they I want to say they wore the jerseys twice this past week. So maybe they actually will end up going back to that look officially.
Isn't it crazy that I mean their logo on Twitter is that Cavs logo too, the old one. But doesn't it make you feel old that the logos that we grew up on are now considered like the nostalgia
Yeah.
old
It's
logos?
yeah, it's kind of what I was saying with the new era hats last week. They came out
Yeah,
like get your throwback, and some of them like it's the purple Raptors, and it's the um the trees with the Timberwolves, and I'm just like, no.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, not fun.
It'd be good. Everything is just so simplistic now. Like everything, it's just a C with an arrow through it. Like that's their logo
Yeah,
instead of it being
yeah.
a basketball with. Yeah, it's just
And
everything
some of
is.
it I do like. Some of it I like the simplicity. There's some logos that there's a little too much going on. Uh,
Yeah, but that'd be like if Boston changed their logo to a B, a green B.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
not
what?
fun.
At some
Not
point, you just
fun.
got to leave it alone.
Not fun.
Anyway, do you
Do
want to
do
get
we
in these
want to do?
awards
Yep,
before
yep.
we go to college basketball? We're same
Yeah,
minds,
absolutely.
same
Absolutely.
minds. If you don't know, uh, we're coming up on a month. Is next week our
Yeah.
monthly?
Yes, we'll
We'll have to look into that. But next week might be our first monthly awards of the season.
yeah,
Um,
oh shit, I thought he retired. That's one of the monthly awards, and then the Traffic Cone Awards. So
yeah,
pretty much the worst defensive player of the month
yeah.
is what we have. Those awards. Our awards are very negative,
Not always.
unfortunately,
Not
except for
always.
the Linsanity Award.
Yeah,
So let's go over real quick our winners. Part of the Linsanity team, we have Cedric Coward, who we mentioned is in the MVP race right now, and from the Memphis Grizzlies, and then Ryan Rollins, who put together
fantastic week.
yeah, last week was our winner. Fantastic. I consider, if you want to make a big three, it's it's not your prototypical big three for the Milwaukee Bucks, but if you want to make one, it's probably Giannis, Miles Turner, and Ryan Rollins right now. So
That'll take you. That'll take you
that's your
far.
yeah, that's your big three. If they had a Atlanta Hawks situation where four of them got into the All Star game, it would probably be Giannis, Miles Turner, Ryan Rollins, and Gary Trent Jr. So that's not going to happen.
There you go.
but and
There you
then
go.
for Cardio King, we have Tyus Jones, who had a week to
Abysmal.
forget.
Yeah.
for the Orlando Magic, and then friend of the program, Larry Nance Jr. I don't know, Larry. He
Larry reached out and was not happy
Larry was not
with our
happy.
awards
So,
last week.
but
Which
he's on the roster.
can we double check? Did Larry have a better week this week? Did he bounce back
I
after
tell
being
you
on the
what, I
list?
know who did have a better week was Fee Mikhailov, because I
We did have him
he
as a
was in the
front runner.
running and I picked him. The very next game, he must have been listening to the pod. Can't
Mm,
imagine why he wouldn't. He
yeah,
dropped 22 points in the
yeah.
very next game. So these players, they're listening. They're
They're
watching.
tapped in. Larry Nance, unfortunately, his minutes did drop a little bit. It went from basically
Shocker.
20 a night to now he's down to like 14, 15. But in 15
Okay.
minutes, he put up 7 points, 5 rebounds. So I can't be mad at that. And then the next
Okay.
game, he put up 5 and 2. So, he's out there. Did have a no show against the Bulls on November
Okay.
8th. But,
All right.
you know, he's not the worst this week.
All
So
right. Which one do we want to dabble in first?
let's go negative first. I feel bad today. Let's go negative
Cardio.
first and go
Okay.
cardio. And I've got one ready if you don't.
I do have one ready.
Okay. Well, we can go with yours.
Okay. So for Cardio King this week, and I think I am ready to battle for this pick.
Mm,
I'm pretty set on it. Now, Saturday, he had a better day, but I just could not ignore what he did the first three games of this week.
yeah.
And it also could be somebody on a monthly award that we have from the struggling Los Angeles Clippers. Nicholas Batum had
Oh.
had an awful week of basketball. So if you look at the stats, we'll start with Monday. He played in 4 games. Monday, 7 minutes played, and he's honestly a pretty high contributor off the bench for this Clippers team. He was a very high contributor last year in the playoffs for him. Monday against the Miami Heat, 7 minutes. I kid you not, looking at the box score, there is not a single number other than 0. No shot attempts, no free throws, no rebounds, no assists, no points. Now, it was over 7 minutes, but you're still getting some action.
Yeah.
They play in the back to back against the OKC Thunder. He played 18 minutes, put up 3 points. The very next game, on Thursday against the Phoenix Suns, he played 18 minutes, went 0 for 3 with 0 points. So, in a matter of, you're talking close to 45 minutes, he had 3 points in total and 3 rebounds. Pretty rough stretch for the 36-year-old from France who was beaten in the Olympics by the United States of America in this past Olympics.
Yeah.
But Saturday, he cleaned it up a little bit, 9 points on 3 of 7 shooting. But man, I just could not get over what he did those first 3 games of the week. So Nicholas Batum is my pick for Cardio King of the
Oh,
week.
okay. I'd like to throw out. Well, I don't know which one I would call the honorable mention, so I will throw out 2 suggestions,
Okay.
and we will debate between the three, if you will, John. I, my Cardio King award nominee this week goes to Mr. Bub Carrington of the Washington
No,
Wizards.
not. Ah,
Yeah, Bub had a rough week. He did not play. Well, that's tonight actually, so he's not played yet. But from November 3rd to November 8th, he averaged what I would assume is close to 20 minutes a game, 28 minutes a game, and he had a whopping stat line of 4.5 points. Maybe 6.5 assists, which I'll give him that, which is why he might be the nominee or honorable mention.
honorable mention.
But he did shoot 21% from three. Now, I'm not good at numbers. So, and maybe that's not good because I work at a bank, but I feel like that's not very good. And when you go through his stats, you go through November 3rd, where he played 25 minutes, had 0 points, only shot 2 shots, did have 4 rebounds, 7 assists, so he was working in other ways. Celtics, 31 minutes, 3 points. Um, Also, again, was putting up rebounds and stats. Cavaliers, 28 minutes, 6 points, 2 of 12, 2 of 7 from three, 4, 11, 11 assists, that is. So, he's contributing in other ways. So maybe that's why he's going to be um, one of these honorable mentions because he is contributing. However, the shots are not falling. But my official nominee for this week is none other than Sam Hauser. Let's clap it up for Sam. Sam Hauser has had a rough week, and
Congrats, Sam.
that is being polite. And I'll tell you the stats. You will be impressed. And when I say impressed, he since November 3rd has played 28, 22, 21, 17 minutes and has put up a total whopping number of 10 points. Now, again, not a math guy, but it's not like he's contributing in other ways. That's not his game. He played against the Jazz, put up 28 minutes, 4 points, 1 of 8 shooting from downtown and the field, with 2 rebounds, 1 assist, basically non-existent. Wizards, he played against the Wizards, who, I don't know if you know this, not a great team. 3 points, 1 for 8 from the field, again, 1 for 6 from downtown, 2 and 3. The Magic, 21 minutes, 3 points, 1 of 6 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. If you're noticing a trend here, it's because he's only making 1 shot and he's taking way more than that. That's how math works, kids. And then finally, last night, to really cap it off, 17 minutes, 0 points, 0 for 2, shot down on the attempts. I think he realized he couldn't hit it broadside of a barn. 0 for 1 from 3. So he's just continuously being a below average shooter, and if that's all you're out there to do, it gets pretty bad. You just start running up and down the floor, which is
Yeah,
what the award is for.
yeah. The one game that is jarring is the Sunday game. The 17 minutes,
Mm.
0 for 2, 0 points, and they need him to score off the
Not
bench.
not only that, you only took 2 shots. You're legit running up and down the floor. At least the other ones, you're putting up shots. You're not just running. But 17 minutes, you're doing suicides. Like, what are we doing? Put some shots up. I know that you shoot or shoot.
That's what
You
he's
go.
on. That's what he's on the team for.
It's the only reason you got paid.
Um, that's a good pick. Yeah, the Bub one. The Bub one, I totally understand it. Not shooting the ball well those first 2 games, but the assist numbers are great. So he's at least he's factoring there. I am willing to go in on Sam Hauser as the pick this week because although the first couple games for Batum were bad, he at the very least finished off the week with like a 9 point game,
Yeah, picked it back up a
three of
little bit.
seven. I mean, this week just putting up 10 points and you're talking like 60 minutes of basketball.
I mean, do you want me to read these stats for the week? Because I've got them. It is, and
I
I
got him.
quote, two
Yeah,
and a
I got
half
him.
points, two and
Oh,
a half
okay.
points for the week, on 12 and a half shooting percentage and 15. I'm sorry, 12.5% shooting, and then 15% from three, with averaging 2.5 points and 22 minutes a game. So
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna lock it in
yeah,
and
yeah,
announce that Sam Hauser, week 3 cardio king of the week. So now looking at the roster, we have a point guard, small forward, and a center, depending on what you want to go. So starting lineup is starting to fill out
it's
for
good.
cardio king of the week. Uh,
Not that I'm keeping
yeah,
count, but is that my third one that I've
third one. Yeah, honestly,
come up with?
most of these picks are yours.
I hate that. I really wish you'd step up.
This one I will. The Batum one, I was. kind of on the fence about, or not on the fence, but I was willing to hear.
It's
But
yeah,
this next one, I 100% will go, and I guess we'll just move on. The Linsanity Award of the week. I'm picking this because I do not want weeks to go by and us just ignore them. And this is somebody that I've already picked already, and it's AJ Mitchell. And I just don't, I don't
back to
want us
back already.
I don't want us to just go week to week and keep forgetting this guy. He's got to get on the list. He's a second round pick, and he continues. I mean, this is more than a Linsanity week. This is a Linsanity year. He's
Oh,
averaging
calm
seven.
down.
He's averaging 17, 4, and 4. He's a second round pick. He was averaging 6 points a game. 6 points a game last year. He's stepping up without a Jalen Williams. This week, he put up a 21-point game, an 18-point game. He had a double double with 18 points and 10 assists, and then 21 points against the Memphis Grizzlies.
He's been
So
good.
I just don't want us to
But
just go by.
what you can't forget is the stinker he put up on November 4th with 8 points, 4 for 10. Now he did have 4 steals, so that's not terrible. But he did play 20 minutes. Just
Correct,
throwing it out there.
correct.
Part of the week. Part of the week.
Okay, that's totally fine, but I'm not going to ignore the two 21-point games and 10 assists. So he probably still ended up averaging about 15 a game this week. I'm sick and tired of seeing this guy produce as a second round pick that nobody ever would think he would put up these numbers. And it's the third week of the season. He should already be on this list. So
Well, let
I'm
me.
I'm already going to put him because I don't want a week to go by and he starts struggling and then he doesn't get on this list. So
I get
I'm
it.
uh, I'm
He's already a winner of the award. Actually, week
no, no,
one,
no.
I
He
believe.
does not have a award.
Was he just an honorable mention then?
He was the honorable mention. So we have Cedric Coward and Ryan Rollins. So that's why I'm picking him, is because I want I want to get him on this list. He needs to be on this list right now.
Okay, but let me tell you the week he had, and I'll give you the stats for the week. Okay,
Okay.
averaged out. So for the week, he averaged 15 and a half points. I believe that's almost 5 rebounds a game, and about 5.5 assists a game. Shooting about 46 from the field, 40% from three. Okay, it's a good week. He played 5 games, and he got to start 3 of them. Just keep that in the back of your head
Okay.
while we go through my
It's
pick.
in the front. It's the front of my head.
Okay. Well, let's go through my pick because I am very, very strong about this pick. I think personally, and this is
I
could be
love
the
I love how we're so. This is great. This is great. Um, how we are great friends. Uh, best of friends. Best of friends. And I just love how we do have so much respect for each other that when we go to pick somebody, we go respectfully, or this is just my opinion, instead of saying, and I'm about to say this respectfully, fuck you, it's this guy.
yeah, because that's what I want to say. Because I want to say that pick was shit, and here's my guy. But I don't want to have bias and sound
Say
like an
it, say
asshole.
it. Say bias. I hate the Thunder. I hate the Thunder.
No, no, I'm not saying you have bias. You're gonna say I have bias because my pick is Will Richard for this week, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, okay,
Will
okay.
Richard this week, the week of November 2nd to November 9th, averaged 19 points a game. Is that 4.5 rebounds and about 3 assists. Defensively, he is a menace. Averaging 24 minutes a game. He started the game. He put up a game earlier this week against the Kings where he scored 30 points on 10 of 15 shooting, and 5 of 8 from three. 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Just a tremendous game. And then followed it up against the
Yes.
Nuggets with 12 points, 5 of 10, and then the Pacers at 15. Now the only downside is he did not play November 4th against the Suns. He's a did not play on that game, so that might hurt his week. But I mean, as far as the week itself, he did have the best game out of the week,
He
and some
did.
would say the best
That is a
averages
fact.
of that week. So it's something to think about.
That is a fact, and we have our first disagreement. And my reasoning is I understand Will Richard numbers wise had a better week, but I need to stick up for who was turned into my guy, AJ Mitchell,
I get it.
who season wise, I just think we've gone too far into the season. He should be on this list.
And I
So
agree if this was a season award, but it's a weekly award. So that's my argument.
it's a weekly award, and he still played well in the week.
Well enough, though. I don't
Um,
know. So
well,
here's how it goes. We couldn't decide. We're not gonna stray away from our guys. We're staying strong on our guys. And
you know what I wish? I wish the Thunder and Warriors were playing each other in this next game.
well, let me. Who do the Thunder play next? Do you know?
Let's pull up the whole NBA schedule. You got it.
Because the way that the holy shit,
There's no way.
they do play.
There's no way.
They do play. They play each
When
other
do they
next
play?
tomorrow night.
Okay. That's
That's
perfect.
going to settle it. That's actually the best way to start off one of these where we have a disagreement, because the rule is, if you don't haven't been keeping up, is that whoever we decide, if we can't choose on a guy that night, the next
Wow.
game dictates the awards. Say Will Richard goes out there with 15 minutes and throws up a stinker, but AJ Mitchell stays consistent and has 15 points in a game. AJ Mitchell
Yeah.
would be our pick for this week, but it's going to be
That's
perfect
amazing.
now that they play each other. We get the real test to see who is having that Linsanity of a week.
That's amazing.
You couldn't have scripted that any better.
No. All right, AJ Mitchell and Will Richard for the third spot to
And we'll catch
join
up next week to
Cedric
see.
Tallard and Ryan Rons.
We'll catch you up to see who actually won the award when we come back
Yeah.
next week.
Be awesome. Great
Um,
beginning. Great beginning.
college basketball. Any other thoughts? Because I know we talked about Coa Pete, or we didn't talk about him, but we talked about the Arizona game.
Yeah.
These
First thing I
freshmen
want
are
to
going
say.
off.
First thing I want to say is, if you're new to the program, I'm an Oregon Ducks fan, and after watching the first week of college basketball,
Go Hawaii.
it sucks being an Oregon Ducks fan when I see some of these teams playing college basketball, like Kentucky and St. John's
Mm.
and Purdue, and I mean, it could be a long season for the for my Oregon Ducks, but we don't even need to discuss them. They're 2-0, but they've played like mid-major schools, so we don't even need to discuss them for the rest of the year. Actually,
Had
so
to have a buzzer beater against Hawaii, some would say. So
yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna. They don't even deserve to be talked about.
well,
Actually,
you know what?
so
You can't have football and basketball. It's just not how
you're
it works.
exactly right. You're exactly right.
So
So,
take it
yeah,
or leave it.
you're exactly right. Some years I wish it was basketball. I really do, because I see how you guys have so much fun with
Mm.
basketball, and and I shed a
You know
tear.
what this is stemming from? For a little behind the scenes action, we just got off my bachelor trip down in Michigan, where we went to go watch the Wolverines go blue.
Hail.
Yeah, hail to the victors. And while we were down there, a few beverages were had, and there was a compilation video, or 3 or 7, that was playing around 2 o'clock in the morning, of just Kentucky highlights for the last 12 years. And it was one of the greatest videos that's ever been
Yeah.
produced. And Mr. Hargrove over there was 4 Kentucky fans and Matthew. And Matthew just had to sit in a corner and watch
Yeah, well, it's
us
just I
relive.
can't go on YouTube and be like, let me type in greatest Oregon dunk since 1990.
Yeah.
Like the YouTube search bar would be like, I'm not sure what you're looking for. Like it would pop up something like that. I could do that with football. I could
Sure can.
probably
Must be
I could
nice.
probably do that. So yeah, it's give or take. It's give or take. Anyways, yeah, college basketball is it's looking like it's gonna be an awesome year. Were there any teams that stood out to you?
Teams, I would say, I mean, Alabama being able to put
Oh,
up
they were
101 points against St. John's is unreal. Now, St. John's played into Alabama's play style where they played fast and sporadic and kind of got out of control at times. But I mean, to be able to put up 101 points on any Rick Pitino defense is good enough in my book to call you a contender. Like
yeah.
I don't like if they get the problem is can they stop anybody? Because that's always been Alabama's problem. Is what happens when their offense goes cold. Can they win a 56-60 game? Can you win that game? That's the biggest test for Alabama. Boy, do they look good offensively.
Yeah, that Phylon kid.
Phylon and Holloway. The fact that they got Aiden Holloway from, I believe he came from Auburn last
Yes.
year. It could get.
I,
They got the best
yeah,
guard
they were
play.
they were just I couldn't believe how fast they were
Mm,
at getting up and down the floor. Like even when St. John's would have a bucket, they I mean like early in the shot clock. It looked like that was Nate Oates implementing that in their offense was we're going to get up as many shots as we can. Anytime Phylon had a center on him, which this was the impressive part, is St. John's, their bigs, actually, they're very athletic and they'll probably be able to guard a lot of guards overall in the Big East this year. But Phylon is just so quick that anytime they had a center on him, he was just driving to the cup. And then nobody was there to help really, and he was just getting layups, and then all of his threes were going in. So it was pretty much impossible to guard him. But yeah, St. John's, it kind of was crazy though how they were able to stay in that game because they were really relying. Like Alabama would go down and shoot a three, but then St. John's was doing a good job of getting to the free throw line. So, but you're exactly right when you said St. John's. There were times they got really chaotic because the game was moving so fast uh, that it almost felt like St. John's. It seemed like they felt like they had to keep up.
yeah, them and North Carolina impressed me. Now they played Kansas, and Kansas kind of seems like they're a one man show with Darren Peterson, and I love Darren Peterson more than anybody else does, and I have for about a year and a half now. But they just don't have anybody that's even close to him. It kind of just runs through him, and if he's not getting the ball, the offense gets kind of stagnant. Now, North Carolina did put up like 60 points in the second half, and that place was rocking up there in Chapel Hill. Caleb Wilson looks pretty good. Another freshman recruit coming in that, you know, probably top 15, top 20 guy out of the rankings. So they've just got guys on guys, and it's interesting to see a Carolina team that has a freshman that's good because they don't get that very often. So kind of brought some life into that building. I don't know if you, I know we didn't talk about Koa Pete, but that Arizona game, first game of the year against Florida, for a freshman to go in and drop whatever he dropped, 30 points,
30.
it looked easy. And we're talking about Florida, who just won the national championship. They have the same big men that they did last year. They just lost their guards, but they still have Alex Condon. They still have what's the guy's name? Their starting center. Can't think of it. He got his jersey ripped in the game. Um,
I know what you're
but
talking about.
he like Kobe Pete just one dribble, get to your spot, rise up, fire. One dribble, shimmy shake, little float, not floater, but just a little post hook on the inside. He also he's just athletic. He is a we kind of talked about it off air. 2 years ago, when he was a sophomore in high school, he was one of the best recruits in the nation. He still ended up being a top 10, top 15 recruit, but he kind of fell off his junior and senior year. um, in the rankings, and I loved him as a sophomore year. Kind of reminded me of Paulo when he was in high school. I kind of after the rankings came out and he kind of dropped, and I didn't really watch him much senior year. I just kind of slipped my mind, but I still remember that I liked him. It reignited the fire that I had a few years ago for him, and boy, this class could be special. But he was really good that day.
Yeah, he's a thick dude as well.
Oh yeah.
He just doesn't. I mean, he doesn't look like he just doesn't look like your normal freshman. So, and also, I'm probably am gonna fall in love with him this year because I do that with Arizona players. I do that with Arizona teams. It's which doesn't it really doesn't make sense with me being an Oregon fan. I'm kind of supposed to hate them. I guess not so much anymore because they're in a different conference. But yeah, I don't know what it is about that Arizona program. I just usually end up falling in love with those teams and those players. So I guarantee you we'll get to tournament time, and I'll probably have a bracket that has them going pretty far.
Yeah, I say the last team that has impressed me, and again, they haven't played anybody, so it's kind of hard. But UConn looks back to normal, and we
Yeah.
called it at the beginning of the season, or at least I did. They just look like they're gearing up for another year. I think they scored 175 points or some shit on last week. They're obliterating Columbia as we speak right now in recording. They're up 50-27, probably going to score another 100 points. That offense is what killed them last year. And again, they're not playing competition, but they look kind of back to normal, and the feel is that way.
Yeah, solo ball is I love watching solo ball, so he's another guy to kind of look out for with Caravan. Both those guys, as we speak, are having some big time games. Caravan 6 of 8 from the field, so
Speaking of big time games, we got a few coming up this week. I don't know if you've checked the board, but
I have not. What do we
so
got?
obviously tomorrow night, Kentucky Louisville. Way too early to play this game, but it is happening, so we shall be there to witness it. But not only that, we've got Texas Tech, Illinois. Texas Tech ranked number 11 in the country. Illinois 14. Of course, Illinois we know has got I believe it's 5 foreign starters. Most of them being Croatian, I believe. But you got Ivisic, both brothers. Um, then you got Stojakovic, who came over, who I don't know if he's healthy yet. I know Big Z is starting because the other brother is hurt, so Illinois might be a little short-handed during that game. But again, that's at Illinois. Top top 15 matchup should be good. And then you got Creighton and Gonzaga to close out the night. Another top 25 matchup. It's tomorrow night's going to be really really fun for college
Yeah,
basketball.
yeah, it's awesome looking at. I'm on the ESPN website, but you go down the list of all the games and you look at the ticket prices, and they're all, manageable. $25, $10, and then there's one that just sticks out, and it's that Kentucky Louisville game, and
How
it
much is that
says
one?
tickets as low as 192.
Yes.
So I feel like that's not a terrible price. I mean, this is
I've thought about going. I still might. I got tomorrow off to
it.
think
It
about it,
is the
but
biggest. I don't know about Kentucky, but it is Louisville's biggest game of the year.
I'd
I,
say it's
I w-
Kentucky's, especially this year. This year Louisville is legit. They're a top 15 team. It's probably on paper the best matchup in 10 years. Louisville's actually favored in the game, so I think this year is Kentucky's biggest
okay,
matchup so far.
because I know even Louisville plays Duke every year, just being in the ACC. But
And Kentucky plays Tennessee, but I don't think I think this year it'll be the Louisville game. And there's already so much um, animosity between these teams already, just because of the press conferences this past week. You've got Louisville guys saying "fuck him" as he's walking out of a presser. Um, it has that feel of a Kentucky Louisville game where it's gonna get chippy. There might be some players ejected. It's gonna be one of those
which
games,
is
but
good.
that's what you
Which is
need. It's just what you need.
honestly, it's better when Louisville is good because I feel like we've had a string of.
It's the greatest thing ever.
It's
I
the
hate Louisville to a core. It is the greatest thing ever when if
yeah.
Kansas, Duke, Louisville, like I know that's not quite the same because two of those are blue bloods, but when those teams are down, like when North Carolina is down, it sucks. It really does. Um, and we kind of saw that in pro sports too. Like if the Lakers are down, it's not a fun time. Like the NBA kind of gets dull. But boy, when Louisville is good, that rivalry, in-state rivalry, just becomes 10 times better. And they haven't been
No, they haven't
good
been like legitimately good for.
since Patino
Uh,
left, really.
yeah, I'm looking up right now. I mean, I get they did make the tournament last year.
I mean,
Um,
they were the number one seed with Chris Mack back in like 2019 or 2020, one of those years.
yeah.
But they even then, like, it just wasn't. Kentucky was down
Well,
one of those years, so like the matchup wasn't the same. So
that was a disappointing year. 2020. Yeah, they started as the number one seed. They didn't even make the tournament that year. They finished 15-5 in conference, 24-7. I'm assuming because 24-7 is not a bad record. I'm assuming they were one of like the first four out for the tournament that season. But before last year, the last time that they made the tournament was 2019. So
yeah,
and the last time that they were legit, like they were a two seed was 2017. So yeah, it's been the better part of a decade where
yeah.
Louisville hasn't been actually a a great team. So yeah, might be a
Well, it's a
really fun
good.
game.
Those are just tomorrow. Last few Thursday night, Purdue versus Alabama at Alabama. This is the time to see if Purdue is up for the challenge, if they're legit, if they're a top 10 team. If Alabama goes in there and waxes their ass by 40, Purdue might be done, even by 20. Purdue needs to go put up a fight against Alabama. Now, they're probably going to have ample opportunity because Bama's defense is not great, so all they got to do is hit shots. But they have not looked great. Purdue has these first few games, and of course in the preseason. So if they can knock down shots, they're going to be a good team. But especially in that Alabama game, you're going to have to be able to put
Oh,
up
that
at
place
least
is going to be
90.
loud. It's going to be so chaotic in that
So
game.
chaotic, and that's on Thursday, and then Friday. I mean, this is just a stacked slate for college basketball. Friday, you've got Arizona at UCLA, 5 versus 15, 15 at home, being UCLA. So games on top of games. Saturday, BYU, UConn, number one player in the country in some eyes, AJ Devanza going up against UConn and Dan Hurley. What will that matchup look like? What will the freshman be able to get against the defense that Dan Hurley puts at him?
Yeah.
Another great matchup. We got a
Also,
week
too,
worth.
that game it says it's a home game for BYU, but not really. It's being played at the Garden in Boston. That's going to be UConn territory. So,
Well, it says it's a
uh,
home game for UConn,
oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I
but
was
it's still
thinking.
not going to be home
Yeah, it won't be a home game, but I would say probably 70-80% of that place will be
for
will be
sure.
you be UConn fans. But AJ, watching AJ in maybe his future home, depending on if Boston uh,
Wow, little
gets
teaser.
blown. Oh my gosh, we could watch history on Saturday.
Boston, maybe falling in the top 10 and getting lucky at
Awesome.
the with the ping pong
Yeah.
balls.
Yeah. Even Sunday we got some. I know that's NFL day, but Sunday some good games too.
Yeah, Houston Auburn. I know was one, and then the Florida matchup,
Yeah.
Miami versus
Yeah.
UF. But
I mean,
just a
just
great slate.
God,
We got plenty to talk about
what a life we
next week.
live. What a life.
Yeah, I mean, it's just this is the best time to be a fan of any
I
sport,
mean,
but
can you imagine if
especially
we grew up in the 1500s? What would we be doing?
I think
We'd
we
be
get this
painting,
excited. Would we do a
painting.
podcast about sparring or jousting?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think that would
Um,
be our
we
like
could be,
it'd be called
doing that, going to the local tavern afterwards, riding our horses over. Mine's name
obviously.
is forget about it. So it was a long time ago. I don't want to talk
Um,
about it.
Podcast would be man in the arena because one of us would unfortunately have to be going up against an ungodly human and probably die jousting in the arena.
We'd be in the Gladiator movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know,
Good times. Good times. I miss those
same thing.
years. But this is fun too.
Yeah, this is a good time watching college basketball, NFL, NBA, college football. All meanwhile, college football is in the longest month ever. November is just the longest month for teams trying to get in the playoff. You've got NFL in the midst of its season. Trade
Thanksgiving
deadline just passed.
is on our heels.
Gosh, it's just what a time to be alive. What a
Bless.
time to be alive. Well, next week we may or may not be doing a rebuild, depending on if all these college basketball games turn out how we think they will. We might just go over those, but be on the lookout for next week's episode, which should happen on Monday. We're 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 so far, so people are talking. Maybe an every week thing.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Great week coming up.
Did we ever figure out the over under on how many weeks it takes to get the second?
Yeah, I said
Frame
mid-December.
printer?
I think I said mid-December. So we're a month
Okay.
month out.
Yeah, that over's looking pretty good. Okay, just wanted to get a clear picture before I can go do something with it. Who's counting though? All right, we'll see you next week.